here I just tested live in front of you, and yeah, it works, right? So by the way, I'm just still, I got this shocking news that Sushant Singh Rajput, one of the promising upcoming actors, one of the hero actors we have in the Bollywood industry, he passed away. He's no more. Oh my God. I'm still trying to come to the terms, and this shocking news is gripping me with unbelievable, happenings that has happened. I still can't come to the terms that he's no more with us. I mean, how could that happen? Such a optimistic, promising, upcoming Bollywood actor. And by the way, I should tell you, like just few weeks back, I was watching his one of the latest movies called Chichore, and that movie itself was revolving around the concept of why teenagers and the adults, as they grow up, they end up committing suicides, based on the mental pressure that they face through, and the challenges they keep influenced by. And in fact, the entire movie was around how like this actor, Sushant Singh Rajput's son, actually, he commits suicide because he was not able to come to the terms that he could not clear one of the exams that would give his admission to prestigious, like college, something like IIT. He could not get a better rank, and then his peer of influence makes him into a zone of insecurity, and he is trying to face the fear, face the fact, but he is still not able to do that, and ultimately attempts suicide. Okay, and then Sushant Singh Rajput is trying all his best to narrate a story from his a backstory that he has to his own child, and to make him realize that how wonderful life is, like, and how beautiful life is, how beautiful the world is, and just because of some result, just because he could not clear one exam or he could not get a rank in an exam, is not an end in itself, and this was the story all about, actually. And there's a powerful moral in that movie where the results don't decide, like if you are a loser or winner, as long as you gave your 100%, as long as you gave, give that attempt, as long as you gave that effort in that process, then you're already a winner, if you are given 100%, result will take care of itself. Even if the result is not in your favor, uh, you know at least you give it a shot. That is what it all matters, and that was the key essence of that movie, uh, Chichore. And this guy, man, actor Sushant Singh Rajput, was actually ahead of his time, doing all these movies. Like earlier he did biopic of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. How wonderfully he enacted that character, and he won so much of like respect in the Bollywood industry. And he was a brilliant actor, dancer. I mean, what not? He was such a promising actor. He was always ahead of his time. And doing this movie, Chichore, was it's in itself uh, a big thing in itself. Giving a, like, not many moral, not many good movies are being made in Bollywood, but this story also was very, very, very realistic. And but then it really touched me, a few weeks back when I watched this movie. And now today I come up with the shocking news that he's no more. Somebody who was so strong, but then, as they say, the face doesn't show everything. It's all happening in the mind. And that's where I started to do some research on my own. And what I wondered was how mind works. And that is the key point of this video. Okay, so if you deep condolences to you know, to Sushant Singh Rajput and his family who has to cope up with this loss. It's a huge loss. It's an irreparable loss to the Bollywood industry. We lost a gem, I think. I think I don't know. I'm still unbelievable actually. And then I just texted to my dad, and then he said, and he replied to me something very insightful. You know what really occurred, what really made this Sushant Singh Rajput to make such an extreme step. Uh, and I learned a beautiful lesson from my father's one of the message he forwarded as an WhatsApp, and that is where the answer lied. But then before that, I want to give a quick context and a background to really make you aware if how mind works actually. Because I am actually a student of human behavior, and I personally met Dr. John DeMartini, who is a renowned human behavior specialist and a key professor. And I'm also learning how what is the power of mind. How you can change anything in your life once you start shifting your mindset. So the mind is so powerful actually. And that is what I realized. Imagine after watching this video, you literally can change anything, any situation in your life. Wouldn't that be a special thing if you continue to watch this video? Do you think there will be a lot of validation that I can provide to you if you watch till the entire video? What I've done is I've created a small mind map. Let me show it to you. So what I've done is this is a small mind map where I'm going to share you three key secrets, okay, that will reveal how mind works. Yeah, and also I'm also going to share you five lessons learned actually from this particular movie Chichore, and also from my own experiential learning. Five lessons I learned that will help you to change anything in this life. Right now, if you are facing struggles and challenges, frustrations, if you're at the if you're even broke, if you're at the like rock bottom. I know things are very dramatic, and especially because of COVID and economy uh, in such in a bad phase, and we are actually experiencing one of the greatest recessions, right? And you never know if this might continue, and to next 2 quarters this might lead to a greater depression, right? Now, of course, but then always we should have this hope that this economy will rebound itself, and then there is always a like a trend to have everything back up and running. Yeah, but personally, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, to you. If you're facing really any random thought, if that is cropping up in your mind, just pick up the phone and talk to your closest friend, to somebody who you can trust, or don't even trust. To just speak out your mind and share whatever is going in your mind. At least you can get rid of unwanted thoughts and make you more clear. I just want, at least if I can impact at least one person through this video, then I would feel that my purpose of this doing this live streaming is, like fulfilled, and my mission is on track. Okay, but then I just want to make you aware that after watching this video, you will have more clarity to because I'm going to reveal three key secrets as I am showing you from my mind map. I just quickly created a quick mind map actually after learning from my mentors how mind works actually, and then I'm going to actually share you five lessons learned. And then we have special gift. If you stay till the end, there's a special gift worth $97, and it's truly a golden nugget that I'm sharing with anybody who stays till the end. Okay, so you gotta stay till the end, and at the end of the video you're gonna get this special surprise gift. Okay, so now the first secret, like what is mind? basically. What is mind? Just type in the comment box, what is mind? What do you think is a mind? Is it you? Is it your thoughts? Is it your uh, uh, you know is it your brain? What is it? What is mind? Just comment, okay? Because I want you to take some thought process, as we proceed in this video, as I discussed three secrets. And if you have typed about what is mind, then actually, how do you know how mind works? How your mind does what it thinks, actually. That's a secret number one. Your mind does what it thinks, you know uh, and what it is supposed to think. It is supposed to think whatever you want it to do, okay? So you know your mind's job actually is to keep you happy. Is not to keep you happy. Your mind's job is actually to keep you alive, okay? So that's the concept of mind. Your mind's job is certainly to keep you alive. It's not its job to keep you happy, okay? Mind's job is not to keep you happy, okay? It is your duty, it's your job actually to make it work for you in your favor, okay? So um you know your mind should work for you, okay? Not the other way around. You don't work for your mind, okay? Your mind works for you, right? So it is your job, you as a person, it's your job to direct, to your mind to do things what it is supposed to do, okay? So whatever you want it to do, your mind will do it, okay? So that's the mind's job, to listen, to take the orders from you, okay? And your job is to give orders to the mind. So it will do whatever it wants to do, okay? But based on what orders you're giving, okay? This is the secret number one, right? Well, how many of you was it a bulb on moment for you? Okay, just type bulb on. Just type bulb on, okay? Bo. You as a person have to have the right, have the permission to give orders to your mind to do whatever it supposed to do, okay? Your mind does what it thinks, okay? But what it is supposed to think, whatever you want it to do, okay? So you are the boss. You have to give orders to your mind, and mind will actually take the orders and it will do exactly what you want it to do, okay? That's what I mean. That's the secret number one. Now, for example, if I had to elaborate on this secret number one, your subconscious mind, there is something called subconscious mind, okay? Whether you are sleeping, whether you are daydreaming, or whether you are concentrating on work, whether you are doing really focused job or sleeping, your subconscious mind is always switched on, okay? Because it never runs out of battery. Your subconscious mind, it would never pause itself. It will stay always on the record, to process anything, okay? Whatever you are giving orders to the mind, okay? So your subconscious mind is always switched on. For example, if you're stuck in a job that you hate, let's say you're in a job, 9 to 6 job, if you're hating, and let's say speak out something like, my job is killing me, or and then you get back to work, like, and then you keep creeping about the boss or the work and environment and atmosphere, and then you say your job is killing me. Your mind is listening to you, okay? So stop speaking that. And then you get back to home, and then you say, my children are making me lose my mind. For example, if you're children, and I'm a father of two, and I'm a husband to a lovely wife, and but then things go wrong sometimes, and then I may speak out, utter something like this, my children are making me lose my mind. Your mind is listening to you. Are you even aware of that? Your mind is listening to whatever you are speaking out. And then, for example, if you are, I mean, right now we are in the work from home like environment, but I have seen many people who do commute long distances just to be able to, reach office and just to be able to make it on time to work. They commute long distances, and while on the way, many people are really frustrated with the traffic and the long journeys they have to commute to work. And then they might utter sometimes, at times, they would say, "This commuting to work will is literally making me dead," for example. And then if there are some people who are just stuck in accounting and like paperwork, they would say, "I'm just dying under my paperwork." The moment you speak out anything, your mind is listening to you, because mind is aligned in such a way that it has to listen to your orders. Whatever you are speaking out, whatever your thoughts you are giving out to the mind, your mind will listen to you. So every second, every day in and day out, your mind, subconscious mind, is listening to you. Okay. So remember, it's your job to keep your mind in control. Okay. Now I have seen many people, they say, you know if I am rejected again, then I will die. I mean, the fear of rejection is so big that they train their mind that, if there is another situation, something like that, if I get rejected again, I will die. They speak out something like this. If somebody who is in marketing or sales, let's say, you might say, if I have to speak to this difficult customer, I am going to jump under the train. I have seen literally sales guys speaking out something like this: if I have to face such a difficult customer again, I might jump off the train. So people keep saying this such throwaway things, and it's going to kill you sooner or later, because mind is listening to you, right? Now, somebody who is very loyal in his company, for example, an employee, he would say, if I don't get that promotion, I will kill myself. Remember, you when you speak out these words, your mind is listening to you. So these thoughts take action into beliefs, and then beliefs take action, convert into actions, actions into results, and the results are some nothing but the extreme action that you take, because at that point of time, such actions you theme that you're already approved, because it has gone through your identity as a person, and then thought process, and then beliefs, and their actions that you take, and you give complete justification to that action that you would take. Okay. And that's precisely the reason why somebody like Sushant Singh Rajput, who was at the peak, but then you never know, there is a lot of things happening in his mind, and unfortunately we have to lose him. He's no more with us, right? So your mind is going to feedback to you as well. What kind of thoughts you want to give to your mind, then your mind is also going to, it starts feedbacking to you. Okay. So remember, your mind doesn't have any choice but to listen to the words you use. So that's mind's job. Okay. So your job is to tell your mind better words then. Yeah. So, right. So that is the first secret I have for you guys. Remember, if you don't like any reality right now, just change the environment, change the language, change the thought process, have better words, speak out positive words. And research has, time and again told us, results are profound the moment you change the environment. Imagine, I was so frustrated with the system that we had in India, and that was one of the reasons I immigrated to Australia. And I changed the environment. I changed the country. I changed the city. I changed the culture. I changed even the language. I changed even the system. The governance system. It's a new governance system that I'm part of now. So the moment you change the environment, everything starts, shifting around you. And if you, wherever you are, wherever, if you're stuck at home right now, just be surrounded with that with people with whom you want to. Okay. uh, if you don't like any reality right now, just change the environment, and things will start working for you, because environment is always stronger than willpower. Environment, your environment is always powerful than your willpower. Okay. Now let's move on to the next point. Next secret is, secret number 2 is, your mind is hardwired. Okay. Your mind is, hardwired actually. Do you know why? It's hardwired to keep going back to what is familiar. You know, it's hardwired to keep going to what is familiar. It doesn't get hardwired to what is unfamiliar. Okay. Your mind is not trained to get acquainted with unfamiliar activities or unknown territories. It will always streamline. It will always wind up to go back to something familiar, which it can relate to. Okay. So that's the secret number 2 for you. Your mind is hardwired to keep going back to what is familiar. Now, let me elaborate on that. For example, I have seen some people telling, they say me, or I have seen listening, they say that I never had love in my life, and when people start loving me, I reject them. You know, have you seen such people? Or have you been such a person yourself? If you never had experienced love, based on their upbringing, the kind of upbringing you had, maybe your parents were divorced, or your parents may have quarreling environment, or and you can say that when you grow up you never had love, and when people start loving you, you automatically reject them. Has it happened to you? In such situation, you know your job is to actually train your mind that things are not as they seem. Okay. Now, for example, some people have wrong relationship with money also. Now, when they say, maybe the kind of upbringing you had, you say the like, you can say that you never had money, and now it slips through my fingers. For example, you can also say that you never had praise. And then when people start appreciating for what you're doing right now, then you always go and say that, oh no, don't be silly. No, it can't be. Now, for example, let's say you gave some speech. Let's say you gave a public talk, and then somebody is like giving you appreciation, like you said, hey, you have a great speech. But then if the speaker actually is if you can relate to something not familiar with this kind of appreciation, then he would always say, no, you didn't notice I was stuttering. I stuttered, and I was, like a rock for some time, and I was like fully red, bright red. No, it can't be. He's rejecting the appreciation, because he never was part of the praising, or like appreciation, and then automatically the mind is aligned to reject. So to reject the unfamiliar thing, right? So remember, uh, like as I say, so that goes back to, your mind is always hardwired. That's what I say. Secret number 2 is, your mind is hardwired to keep going back to what is familiar. Okay. And that's precisely the reason why you should actually start reading loud positive affirmations. Okay. Now, if you go to this link, ashok.link/playbook, I have designed a playbook kind of thing. It's called Freedom Manifestation Playbook, where I have written down all positive affirmations. Okay, if you can read loud every day, it's going to, like, give, it's going to change, it's going to you know uh, like disrupt how the your mind is hardwired, okay, so that you can start radiating thoughts uh, to what you want, to what you want to become, so you can become anything as long as you can get rid of this hardwired things in your mind, okay? And that's possible with positive affirmations, okay. Just go to this link, ashok.link/playbook. It's a free ebook, free PDF that I'm going. It's already a gift I'm giving right now. So, and there is also a major gift at the end. So stay tuned until the live video ends. And so if you go through that book, uh, you can just read aloud positive affirmations in that. Okay, it's a very powerful ebook that I have designed, and you can actually mentally shift your mind. Okay, so you no longer have to depend on how your mind is hardwired, okay. So you can come out of that thing that which is hardwired, okay. Now moving on to secret number 3. Are you excited? Let me know if you're excited to what you're learning in this live video. Let me know if you're excited. I'm just checking if there are any comments. Which is hardwired. Yeah, so if there are any comments, please do comment. If there are any questions, I'll just take it up right now. Okay. So, secret number 3. Are you guys excited to know secret number 3? How mind works? So let's get moving on. So the secret number 3 is, the way you feel about everything. The secret about how mind works. The way you feel about everything is up to the pictures you make in your mind. Yeah. It's up to the pictures you make in your mind. Now, what I mean is, it whatever mental frames, when you see we see cinematic factor, when you see go to a movie hall and you watch a cinema, uh, you know there are fine, what do you say, there are some mental frames. A cinema is like a series of photos, right? So all the frames and photos get imbibed in your mind, and whatever pictures your mind is capturing, and based on that only you're going to feel about that particular context, okay. So it's up to the pictures that you make in your mind, okay. And then, and your feelings will be based upon what kind of pictures you are creating, the mind is creating for you when you look that, okay. So now when I mean what I mean is, what kind of meaning are you attaching to that, that picture or event that's happening, that's affecting you. For example, if you see somebody, uh, for example, if you see somebody, let's say somebody is, if you see a cow passing by, on the road, let's say, you know and then your mind will start feeling, keep taking a mental note of pictures. This cow is, if you are somebody, a religious Hindu person, you would say the cow is a holy animal, it's a very holy thing to see cow, and you feel blessed. But then if you see somebody who is non-Hindu, they would say it's just an animal, so this is a flesh. It's I can make a good business out of it, right? So your mind is actually giving a meaning to that picture, and that is the reason based on which your mind will, and then you start feeling about that thing, okay. So if you love this secret, all these 3 secrets, then this is how your mind is going to work, okay, based on these 3 secrets now that I have revealed to you. I hope you got more clarity. Now I'll quickly jump on to the lessons learned, okay, based on the recent incident that has happened, how mind works, and what kind of lessons we can learn. after we have learned all these three secrets, right? There are five key lessons I have noted down for you, and they are: lesson number one is you should know your circle of influence. Okay, as I told you before, your mind will be keep adjusting. The actions that you take, the values that you inculcate in yourself, it all depends on the circle of influence. Okay, if you keep yourself surrounded uh, with people who is helping you, motivating you to keep achieving goals. For example, let's say you are in a sales position. Okay, you are a sales guy, but if you are and if you're surrounded by a great mentor who is like pushing you to keep doing achieving goals, keep doing achieving sales targets, then uh, you will ultimately achieve that goals. So that's the influence you have, like the right set of mentors, the right set of colleagues, and that's the circle of influence you have. It could be also your personal from your personal life. It could be your own spouse. you know so it's important the what kind of circle you are getting influenced with. Okay, and if you are getting influenced, then are you can you change the circle of influence to make it more better if you're not able to find if you're not happy with the circle of influence. Yeah, so the lesson learned is that you need to know your circle of influence. What kind of circle are you surrounded yourself with? It could be through your it could be in your personal life, professional life, in your business life, the way you look at others in your society, in your community. It could be any kind of influence that could be in your circle. Okay, so it could be online as well as offline. Okay, so when I say online, what kind of videos are you watching? What kind of what kind of text are you reading online? What kind of channels are you subscribed to? What kind of mentors are you listening to on podcast, for example? Or what kind of courses have you signed up for? What kind of books, or what kind of digital information are you subscribed to in an online medium? It all depends on that. So that's also a important circle of influence for you. And offline, you always know, like, in the physical world, it could be your own immediate family members, it could be your own friend circle, it could be your professional colleagues and your professional mentors at work, corporate job, corporate management, the values that you are aligned to, adhere to in your corporate company. Or it could be your own sphere of influence, uh, where you're secretly aligned to, the your own values. That's also a circle of influence, right? So make sure that you know your circle of influence. That is one of the key lessons that we must learn. And the second lesson we can learn is you should live in the moment. Okay, now, why I should take this as a lesson? Because we forget living in the present, right? We are so bothered about what happened in the past. We are so bothered about what's going to come in future, but we are least bothered about what kind of action, what kind of life I should live in the present moment. Okay, and your present moment is what you should start living, right? Rather than thinking about what has happened in the past, for which you don't have any control to change. I mean, unless you have machine to travel time, uh, but you can't really go back in the past and change things. I mean, of course, if there were better things that happened in the past, let's leave it as it is. But then if there were things that you are not happy or you regret doing in the past, you cannot really go back and change that past. You have to live with the past. Yeah, and also likewise in future also, you can't really predict. The more you whatever you plan, there will be tensions and problems. Life, because life, the another name of life is a challenge. Life, another name of problem, another name of the life itself is a problem. Okay, so and tensions. You can't really escape, and you can't really hide under the bed, and I can say that no, I don't want any problems in life. You can't really do that. You gotta face it. And the only way you can face it by is possible by living in the present moment. Okay, so right now where I am doing this live streaming and I am living in the moment. Okay, and I believe that it is my I believe that based on the incidents that have been happening, the events that have been happening. For example, our own Sushant Singh Rajput took his own life. You never know what's going to happen. In next 10 seconds, in next 30 seconds, in next 1 hour. But then if I have to live in the present moment, then it is my service to humanity as a noble person to broadcast this live streaming, so that if I can impact at least one person, if I can at least change somebody's mindset to be aligned for to become a better version of himself, then I have achieved my mission, right? So it's important to live in the present moment rather than thinking about past and future. So focus on the present, live in the present moment, because tensions, problems, frustrations, challenges are going to come, and that's part and parcel of your life. Okay, nobody, no, nobody, no, some anybody who is born in this world, everybody has a final destination. Okay, everybody has to die. Okay, so and tensions and problems, everything is gonna be there. Okay, you can't really run away. You can't really escape. Okay, so just living the present moment. That's it. That's the best you can do, right? So now, third lesson that we can learn is, let's plan for the failure. Okay, in the when I started this video, I spoke about how my father gave me one of the, like, he forwarded one of the uh, like a story in a WhatsApp when I asked him, when I informed him about this breaking news where this Bollywood celebrity or actor has taken his own life. And he gave me a simple story. He shared me, actually forwarded a simple story where there was a research conducted. Actually, let me show it to you now. And yeah, let me just show it to you. Yeah, so if you can see my screen, I just sent him, my to my dad, that this guy is dead and the breaking news and all. And then he forwarded me after some time what really happened. गड़बड़ कहाँ हुई? सुशांत के शांत होने ने मुझे झकझोरा है, फिर पुरानी कहानी याद आई, हृदय में फिर लाखों सवाल, क्या यही सफलता है? सिर्फ नाम, पैसा, पद, प्रतिष्ठा, या सफलता वह है जो आसक्ति, अवसाद, कुंठा से मुक्त करती है? निमेश. Anyway, so that was, I think, some context. But then if you see, there was a story all the way, like a bahut brilliant ladka tha. So there was a very intelligent boy, and he always used to come first in his life. So I'm just trying to translate into English while I'm reading out the story. And he used to be a science student of science, and he always used to get 100% marks. And typically such people tend to become engineer, and they get selected in reputed institutes like IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. So I believe the story is about an Indian student, an Indian guy, and he got an admission in one of the prestigious institutions in IIT Chennai. And then what happened is he did his Bachelor of Technology, and then to pursue his further studies, he goes all the way. He gets secures an admission for masters in United States of America. Yeah, and he gets an admission in University of California to do an MBA, to pursue an MBA. Yeah. Now, if you have studied in such an Ivy League business school, and you got this degree, you earned that degree with all the pride and honor when you graduated with that degree, then you expect, you know, anybody would expect, you know, everybody, in fact most of them in the society expects that you deserve a better job now, you know, a well paid job, right? And because based on the trend, you know, based on what he has been coming, what he has been becoming, what he has been achieving in this in his past, you know, like, you know, getting 100% scores in science, and you know, topping in the engineering, and getting securing a, you know, admission in the Ivy Business School, and then, you know, logically his next step is to get, you know, to become a topper in business school, right? To get that dean's list, right? Get that top edge uh, to become in the top 10%, for example, top 5%, right? In the dean's list of that MBA batch, right? So, and that's what he did achieve that, and then he got a well paid job, right? And then and then all the dreams that start materializing, you know, like 5 bedroom home, you know, a bungalow, and then gets married to somebody with whom he could share the rest of his life, and he got married with you know, beautiful girl from India. And then what else anybody could expect in his life, you know? So uh, and then and then the story goes on with saying that better life, better earnings, you know, good wife, beautiful wife, good home, big home, big bank balance, you know, good respect in society, and then good children, you know, everything is happy, you know, like you know, very uh, as planned, right? But then, for, you know, a few years back, then he says that suddenly what we see is this family commits suicide, you know. And then what went wrong? Then the question starts, you know, this question strikes, what went wrong? Okay. So what actually happened was, you know, there is a California Institute of Clinical Psychology. They say that what went wrong, you know, they did some study, they did some research actually, why this family who had you know, like entire trend of achieving success, you know, subsequently, you know, in every aspect of their life, uh, and they did achieve that, but then ultimately they could not cope up with the life, and they committed suicide, you know. He shot himself with the gun. That's what it says, the story, you know. And the wife also, and then he shot his children also, you know. So it's weird, but then what went wrong was the study they conducted, California Institute of Clinical Psychology. So they said that what they come to the conclusion is that, you know, first reason was that, first reason from the suicide note, he what they found was that, you know, this guy had lost his employment. Okay. And after like long employment, he was just idle, and he could not find suitable employment, and he started getting, you know, lesser income, and then ultimately to a point where he could not even get any job. And and he was not able to, you know, pay the home loan EMIs, the car EMIs, car loans, installments. He could not, you know, adapt his life, his situation, reality with his expectations, his you know, the lifestyle that he expected it to be, you know, to continue. So, and then ultimately he worked for some, you know, some petrol pump, and he tried to cope up with that, but then ultimately it was unbearable at a certain point of time that they eventually decided to, you know, commit suicide, you know. And then there is a note which says uh, that this was the best decision, for them, for himself, his wife, and for the children, to committing suicide as a family, uh, was the best decision. That is what his mind started concluding. So the key reason was that this man was not was programmed for success, but he was not trained how to handle failure. Okay, so that was the key message I'm trying to give. Fast forward to the story. Yeah, so that was the key essence of that story. So there's a key takeaway or lessons that we can learn. Don't make anybody a machine, with the brain. Rather, make people with emotions and human emotions, humanity, and feelings. Okay, now, we are, as I say, like, secret number two, the mind is hardwired, just like in the story as well. This man was hardwired for success. He was trained how to manage success, how to achieve success, but then he was never trained to how to cope up with failures, how to manage failures. Okay, there was no training at all, how he never even maybe thought about it, because of the rat race that we are in, because of uh, you know the environment that you created for yourself in the cutthroat competition, in every sphere of life, and every aspect, whether it is personal, professional, business, whatever environment that you are in. People have not been trained for how to manage failures. I know, they are told theoretically, failures are a stepping stone for success, but they never really ingrained in their mindset. There has to be plan B, there has to be plan C, there has to be plan D. What if plan A doesn't work? Have you thought about plan B? If plan B doesn't work, have you thought about plan C? If plan C doesn't work, have you thought about plan D? There are the plan would go to infinity, actually. And when I say infinity, yes, I mean infinity. There can be infinite number of plans. You can recustomize, customize. And if you're going to make a decision based on the failure of plan A, then that's the worst thing that can happen. And then that is where your mind gets hardwired. And then if you're not able to shift that hardwired thing, to make it flexible, to adapt to plan B, to follow over to plan B, C, D, E, F, G, infinity, then you start living, a lifeless thing. Actually, your life is not lively if you're stuck to a rigidity. So, and this is applicable to many entrepreneurs, many startup founders, and anybody in who just joined a corporate world, or who is somebody facing a midlife crisis, or somebody who is a middle management position. It could be an executive manager, it could be CXO, anybody. if you're not if you're not trained yourself how to plan failures, then nobody can save you. You gotta start planning for failure. Okay, you gotta handle the failures, because it's easier said than done. And you always need to have that switch over mindset. You need to switch. Okay, and it's possible only by training your mind, right? So you can't really take harsh decision, extreme decision, just because of the failure of some plan, some plan A. Okay, because you never know, like, maybe plan B was right for you, maybe plan Z was the right for you, and you were supposed to go through plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H till Y, X, Y, and Z. And maybe plan Z was waiting for you to, you know to make you a billionaire, maybe, right? So, or it could, I mean, not just about from the wealth perspective, but it could be from relationship perspective. Maybe you are in a wrong relationship right now, but then if you don't attempt yourself to know yourself, Socrates said, know thyself. Okay, he is such a philosopher that he just used to give a simple statement: know thyself. That's the best thing you should do. So when you start knowing yourself, when you start knowing what's happening around you, inside you, so you can start better planning for your failures, right? So moving on to plan, the lessons learned from number 4 is that life is the most important thing in life. you know Now, what I mean is, your life is the most important thing in life. Okay, nothing else. I'm more inspired by this thought process of this lady, Ayn Rand, who is no more, but she propagated the idea of, the philosophy of objectivism, where you are the owner of your life. A man is an end in itself. Okay, so, and your life is the most important thing in life. There can't be anything else. Okay, so you should read that book. I would highly recommend Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, and Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Okay, these two books are a must read. If you really want to get the essence of your life, you don't need any therapist, you don't need any philosopher, you don't need any life coach, you don't need any kind of business coach. If you can read these two books in your life, then you are sorted out. Actually, just read this book, The Fountainhead and that Atlas Shrugged. Okay, and just ask me if you're not able to find that. Okay, I have got some comments. Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, life is the most important thing in life, right? In your own life, right? That's what the lesson we should learn. Okay. See, I mean, I was just completing one of the training here. It was it was a full day training program here in Adelaide, in Australia, where you get a white card license. If you can do some casual employment, if you have a white card, you can go and work in a construction industry, as long as you have this white card license. Okay, and when I completed the training, one of the key takeaway was that they make you mitigate risk. You should always be mindful of how you're gonna identify the risk at your work, in your construction industry especially, which is so risky. And you should always be prepared for the worst. You should always be prepared with the protection and the risk mitigation, everything. And then there was a case study where, if you're not protecting yourself for your life, then, and no matter what, people might pay you billions and trillions of dollars for some high risk activity, and that would give you maybe high rewards. But then if you're not protecting yourself, then that company might be, government will penalize you heavily, not only to that employee, but also to the team leader, supervisor, and then the entire company. There's a huge penalty. Okay, so uh, high risk high reward is something not, I would never favor. You should always have guards, you should always have protection in place. And then things may go wrong, when you are still protected, right? When you have insured everything, when you have protected everything, mitigated all the risk, known risk, unknown risk, everything, still things go wrong. And but then the penalty is zero, right? So uh, you know life is not guaranteed, but life is the most important thing that you need to safeguard, right? So if you can safeguard in the best interest possible, for not for yourself but also for everybody in society, and that is the message you should be giving, and if you can uh, play safely, then you're okay, right? People can understand what kind of attempts you made to play it safely, right? So there is a series of things that have taken care of. You followed according to the uh, the rules and the compliance and the aspects, right? In the for the nature of job, then people are more willing to agree and support you, right? Right. So that's the important message I wanted to give you. And then the last is the very important. Do you know we all have two lives? How exciting is that? We all have two lives. Now let me elaborate on that. The second life starts when we realize we only have one, right? You know, and this statement can be only be understood by somebody who has faced near death experience, or somebody who has been living a monotonous life or a very boring life, and he really took an attempt to make your life his own or her life lively and energetic, to live, start living a life full of passion. Then the second life is starts living, you start living it, the moment you realize, the moment you get enlightenment, right? The moment you get realization that we only have one life, we got one life. Zindagi na milegi dobara. There were three friends. The story about three friends who tried to arrange, a holiday vacation back in Spain and Europe, right? So the story revolves around the concept that Zindagi na milegi dobara. Hmm? You don't have another chance to live life, and when you start realizing that, you start living life, the one life that you got one life. But the moment you start realize that you have got one life, then you start living, the second life. Okay, so that's what I mean to say when we say we all have two lives. Okay, so are you living your life? Please do comment in the comment section. And without wasting much time, I'm going to actually give you the gift that I promised. And because we are at the end of the video, and the gift is nothing but, I'm going to give you my 30 minutes. Okay, my valuable 30 minutes. If you found this video useful, then I'm going to give you my 30 minutes and to talk to you directly if you're facing any a situation where you're not able to come to the terms with the reality that you're facing, the challenges, frustrations, problems in your life. It could be from finance, it could be from health perspective, it could be from relationship perspective. I'll be happy to discuss with you. I'll be open. I'll make sure that we remain keep the topics confidential between you and me. But then I'm going to give you my 30 minutes to talk to you, to listen to you, and you never know, you might get super powerful breakthroughs in your life that might totally transform your life. And I can't wait to happen, to help you uh, achieve that milestone. Okay, to I don't want you to end up in a back to square one position, but then I want you to keep evolving to make yourself, jump to the next level of your life, to the better version of your life, right? So the link is ashok.link / discovery. Okay, so that's a simple link I have got, and that's the gift. When you go to this link, let me see what happens when you use this link, ashok.link / discovery. Okay, I hope you are able to see. Can you see? Yeah. So ashok.link / discovery. It will take you to my booking page. Okay. So I am positioning myself as a chief freedom objectivist. So I'm excited to you to book discovery call with me. Okay, and you're awesome. Go ahead and book 30 minutes slot with me. and it will show you my availability as per your time zone, as per my time zone's availability. Just go ahead and book immediate possible slot, and then you can just fill out these few details, and just click on the yes, book discovery call with Ashok. And this is my, generally I sell my 30 minutes for $97, but as a noble deed I'm just giving you for free, and it's worth $97. Okay, so go ahead and book without wasting much time. And yeah, so this is how it is. So you need to go to the ashok.link/discovery. Can you see? Yeah. So if you go there, you just need to pick up a slot. It will show up available slots, and then you pick that slot. You answer few questions, and then boom. After answering few questions, you just gonna, yeah, click on this button. Yes, book discovery call with Ashok, and we will see you inside. Okay. So I look forward to talk to you more and in depth, to have a deeper conversation and take this conversation forward. Okay, I hope you like this session today, and because I just wanted to bring up this idea of about how mind works, and let's keep growing. Yeah, so let's preserve our mind is the most beautiful thing you have got. Okay, don't let it become uncontrollable. It's your job to control, it's your job to give orders, to work it in favor of you, rather than going going the other way around, right? So this is Ashok Adam signing off for now. Father of twins, husband to a superwoman, telecom engineer turned lifestyle entrepreneur, a business coach, and founder of Freedom Business School. This is Ashok Adam signing off for now. See you in my next video. Until then, take care, and stay strong.